Recently, Tucker Carlson interviewed an entrepreneur who was largely unknown to English-speaking audiences. His name is Pavel Durov. He is perhaps the most well-known IT personality in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. In 2006, he created his own version of Facebook called VK, which became the most popular social network in many post-Soviet countries. While VK closely resembled Facebook in appearance, Durov was adamant about not drawing such comparisons, even calling the Russian segment of Facebook a stronghold of pedo-liberals. But who is Pavel Durov, and why did Tucker Carlson decide to interview him? Durov was born in 1984 in Leningrad, but spent some of his childhood in the Italian city of Turin. He studied at a selective secondary boarding school in St. Petersburg, where at the age of 11 he discovered an interest in IT and programming. As a university student, he already began creating websites with a social focus. A friend of his who came back from the US showed him a then student-only website, Facebook, which had people create profiles with their real names and photos. Durov decided to create a similar online environment under the domain student.ru, which later became known as contacted.ru, which translates to in contact. This was the birth of VK, an abbreviation for Vkontakte. On October 1, 2006, Pavel Durov and his brother Nikolai registered an LLC and a domain name. At first, the social network was accessible by invitation only. However, as soon as by the end of 2006, registration became available to everyone. In 2007, Vkontakte, or VK, became the third most popular website in the Russian segment of the internet, and in 2008, it had surpassed 20 million registered users. Perhaps it is the same anti-authority spirit that caused Pavel Durov to resign from VK in 2014. In 2011, when the most massive anti-Putin movement was shaped, the Federal Security Bureau approached Durov and officially requested that he ban the VK communities, which were used to coordinate protests. Durov responded with this, captioned in this picture, "My official response to the security agency's request to ban certain VK communities." In 2013, the authorities approached Durov once again and requested that he share the identities of the organizers of the Euromaidan communities dedicated to the Maidan uprising in Ukraine. Durov once again refused. In February of 2014, the major shareholder of Vkontakte, United Capital Partners, or UCP, began claiming that Durov and Mail.ru Group, another shareholder, are systematically making decisions against the company's best interests. UCP made multiple threats of litigation. It is unknown how significant this was for Durov. However, only a couple of months later, he sold his share of the company and resigned as CEO. Now the entirety of VK belongs to Mail.ru Group. Following this incident, Durov emigrated from Russia. He commented, "Unfortunately, it is impossible to run an IT business in this country. I'm afraid there is no way back for me, especially after I publicly refused to cooperate with the authorities." Aside from strictly refusing to abide by the FSB's demands to ban communities and share private data, Durov used this experience as inspiration for his new startup. Realizing that he couldn't even message people securely in cases when authorities come to his doorstep, he came up with the idea for Telegram, an encrypted messenger app which was launched in August of 2013. By November of that year, the app had over 1 million downloads. Telegram uses the MT Proto-encryption protocol developed by Durov's brother Nikolai and a team of programmers. Pavel Durov has been living in Dubai since 2017, which is where the Telegram HQ is located. During his time away from Russia, Durov became a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, the UAE, and France. In 2017, the Russian government made an attempt to restrict Telegram in Russia if Durov refused to give the authorities encryption keys to the messenger, claiming that Telegram was being used for preparations of terrorist attacks. Durov once again refused, saying that the de-encryption request was anti-constitutional. A protest in support of Telegram took place in Moscow with about 12,000 people in attendance. Roskomnadzor, the governmental department in charge of information and communications, began its attempts to block Telegram in Russia. One of the ways was approaching the App Store, requesting that it remove Telegram from its marketplace. Later, Roskomnadzor began blocking IP addresses allegedly belonging to Telegram. Having blocked millions of IP addresses, Roskomnadzor only removed 3% of Telegram's audience from the messenger, while the popularity of Telegram channels grew and their overall audience increased. And the views jumped from 138.9 to 159.5 million. Because of the way Telegram's encryption works, Roskomnadzor could not be sure that they are in fact blocking IP addresses belonging to the messenger, which resulted in temporary blockages of various other websites, Google services, Twitter, Facebook, and other sites' pages. Roskomnadzor even blocked some of its own IP addresses. On June 18, 2020, Roskomnadzor announced that it was no longer going to ban Telegram, although the court ruling remained in place. Roskomnadzor soon created its own Telegram channel. Because of Telegram's encryption and Durov's utter unwillingness to share users' private information with authorities of any country, the messenger was banned in China and Iran. There were attempts to block it in Afghanistan, as well as threats of a ban in Germany, Brazil, and Kazakhstan. Some of the largest controversies surrounding Telegram have to do with the inconsistencies between Durov's public libertarian position and refusal to cooperate with any authorities, and the closure to some of Iranian Telegram channels where anti-government protests were being coordinated. Similarly, in 2021, Telegram banned the bot for smart voting, an initiative created by Alexei Navalny, which aimed to vote out the representatives of the ruling party United Russia by coordinating votes for a single candidate who is not a member of that party. The bot was used to tell people which candidate in their precinct has been selected for this political action. According to Durov, Telegram would have been banned in Russia if they did not block the smart voting bot. Pavel Durov's public image changed from being similar to Mark Zuckerberg's to something more resembling Elon Musk. Although Durov cares little about money, according to his own words, "For me, money is a purely virtual thing, which is meaningless on its own when devoid of things that truly matter. Taking part in this race for richness seems objectively pointless to me, although it is not the worst type of sport." It is clear that Durov, like Musk, draws a distinction between his public libertarianism and the behind-the-scenes agreements he makes in order to keep his products available. Now that Durov spoke with Tucker Carlson, it seems that he is planning on making Telegram more commonplace in the US and maybe in the West altogether, promoting its dedication to privacy. Although in conversation with Carlson, Durov claimed that the US Secret Services tried to recruit one of Telegram's head developers and have him install a backdoor mechanism in Telegram so that American authorities could look inside. Durov also stated that he agreed to be interviewed by a liberal journalist, and in the Russian-speaking community that provoked much discussion as to who it might be. Most are hopeful that Durov was interviewed by Russia's most popular interviewer, Yuri Dud. With various controversies and Durov's imperfect transparency about the messenger's operation, Telegram remains the most popular messenger in Russia, and it is one of the most secure communication apps out of the most user-friendly ones such as WhatsApp or Viber. Most social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram have been banned in Russia. However, Telegram remained accessible, which made it a source of information for Russians, as most independent media outlets have Telegram channels. Telegram has 800 million active monthly users and is projected to reach 1 billion by the end of 2024.